We actually have a working pure Neos deck, Sky Striker, and a lot of other cool goodies for you today. Alright, well, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button and don't be like one of the 30% of you. So the first list we have here is this right? Neos? This is classified as a pure Neos deck according to the creator. Now, what I find most interesting about all of this is just like the fact that this works. All right, like we didn't need Dark Law, we didn't need any of the other shenanigans. No, we were able to do standard hero plays actually pretty coolly, which is actually pretty awesome. You tend to not see anything really in the Neos department really be successful. It's obviously, you know, always like Dark World Law and the more like combo variants of things. So it's actually pretty cool. So we have triple copies of Crosskeeper, 2 copies of Elemental Spirit of Neos, 2 Stratos, your 1 Liquid Soldier with 1 Shadow Mist. We have 1 Prisma with 1 Neos and 1 Honest Neos with 1 Aqua Dolphin, 1 Dark Panther, and 1 Grand Mole. Then we have triple Hero Lives, 1 E-Emergency Call, 1 Rhoda, triple copies of EN Engage Neos Space, triple copies of Instant Contact, triple Neos Fusion with 1 Call by the Grave. We have triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, triple EN Shuffle with 1 Poly. We have 1 Miracle Fusion, and triple copies of Favorite Contact. Then we have 1 Abyssal, 1 Baguski, 1 copy of the Infernal Divisor, 1 Rainbow Neos with 1 Marine Dolphin, your 1 Nebula Neos, 1 Dark Neos, 1 Cosmo Neos, 1 Grand Neos, 1 Brave Neos, 1 Aqua Dolphin, Aqua Neos, excuse me, 1 Flame Wingman, 1 copy of the Neos Wingman, 1 Absolute Zero, and 1 Sunrise. And then we have triple Ghost Bell, triple Dimension Shifter, 1 Rainbow Dark Dragon, triple copies of Dark Ruler No More, 2 Lightning Storm, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping up, you know what, I don't even know what to really say about this, but this is quite hilarious out here, for sure. There is going to be, Sky Striker. You know what's very interesting to me about Sky Striker? No matter how much the times change, no matter how much this deck looks to evolve, no matter how much happens in this format, this deck still is doing well. And that is very, very interesting to me at the end of the day, just how much power that you are still seeing that this deck can have. Also, interesting ratios. We're actually playing Necro Valleys. When the format is so bad that Sky Striker has to play Necro Valley, it's pretty interesting. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler. We have 2 copies of Ghost Belt and Haunted Mansion, 2 copies of Rose. We have triple copies of Ray. Then we have 1 Engage, 1 Hornet Drones with 1 Multi-Roll. We have 1 Jamming Waves with 1 Afterburners. We have 1 Shark Cannon, 1 Call by the Grave with your triple Standard Widow Anger, 2 copies of Linkage. I still find that this is very interesting that we've dialed this back a little bit. We have 2 Area Zero with triple copies of Forbidden Droplet. We have 1 Rhoda, 1 Terraforming with 2 Necro Valley, 2 Talents, triple Imperm, and triple copies of Metaverse. And then we have 1 Zeke, triple Shizuku with 1 Kaina. We have triple Kagari, triple Hayate, 1 Lina, 1 Dahark, 1 Axis Machine, and 1 Abyss Dweller. Then we have 1 Arby's Feather Duster, 1 Necro Valley, 2 Silent Graveyard with 1 Shark Cannon. We have 1 Zombie World, triple copies of Evenly Matched, triple Imperial Iron Wall, and we have triple copies of There Can Only Be One here. Wrapping up one of your more teched out versions of what's kind of going on here within the confines of the format. And like I said, I like to see just what kind of power, you know, even Necro Valley is really bringing to the table. When your format just kind of goes that bad, you don't have much of a choice but to start playing outs. All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out here to Rikka on Avalon. I have somebody that always constantly comes to me, actually having turnover and decent success with us. They've been a huge fan of just kind of splashing, you know, just Sun Avalon. So actually, I can't even say that this is just Rikka. This is just Sun Avalon with like a Thurion stuff in here. And it's kind of nice to obviously, you know, see that you don't need the Rikka package to get the deck off the ground, but by cutting some of those more option tree cards, you can somewhat lose consistency. It's going to come down to your deck build and how you really play. So we have one copy of the Aurora Mage Laurel. We have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. We have one copy of DD Crow with triple copies of Effect Veiler. We have two copies of Ghost Bell. Triple Ghost Bell. We have triple Mourner and Moonlit Chill. Two copies of Lone Fire. Nice to see actually somebody playing more than one Lone Fire. We have one copy of Rose Girl with one Sunsea Twin. One Regulus with one Boreas. We have triple copies of Genius Loki with 1-for-1. We have triple copies of Painful Decision. Triple copies of Small World with 2 copies of Sunvine Sowing. We have one Disc Coliseum with triple copies of Unexpected Die. We have triple copies of Infinite Permanence and one copy of the Sun Avalon Bloom. Of course, down here you got one Zelantis, that seems to be a staple. One Thrasher with 2 Healer, 2 copies of Malias, 1 copy of the Big Link Fortree, triple copies of Dryas, 1 Tuba Gallancer, 2 copies of Jasmine, and 1 Psychic Imp Punisher. Things are going to get crazy in the minute you know Psychic Imp Punisher is usually involved. Side deck here you got triple Droll and Lockbird, triple copies of Gamma, 1 Brick, triple copies of Lightning Storm, triple Talents, and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment here. Wrapping up your Sun Avalon, technically 3 on deck if you want to be out there, but it's also kind of cool to see Solemn Judgment just making so much legroom out here with the side deck. All right. Ooh. I had to go drive down the road here to my my metagame condo because no more rogue. There's another rogue list after this. It is kind of nice to see that the Bysteel package has become like the more standard norm right now for this. I've talked a little bit about Swordsoul. I always get comments like, recognize Swordsoul, Robbie, recognize it. And I'm like, like, sure, it's a competent deck to play. Is it absolute tier 1? No. Results and data tell me differently, but people want to disagree, so very, very interesting in terms of that. So we have triple copies of Ash, Blossom, and Joy Spring. We have triple copies of Druisworm, with triple copies of Magna Hut, and then 1 copy of Snorunnir. And you got triple copies of Effect Veiler, 2 Incredible Ecclesia with triple copies of Mo Yi, 2 copies of Tai with triple Long Dong Yun. We have triple copies of Ara Ara, 2 copies of Vishuna, and 1 copy of Vishuda. Then, of course, 2 copies of Pod Desires, triple copies of Emergence, triple copies of Talents, triple copies of Imperm, and, of course, 1 Blackout. Down here in the extra deck, you're playing 3 of the Monks. No Draco Masters. We're not even playing the Shaman of the 10 Yi, so that's kind of interesting. We have 1 copy of Yazi with 1 copy of Cheng Yang. We also have 1 copy of the Qingxing Long Yun, 2 copies of the Chizao, 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Boxia, 2 Boxia, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Mudmud, and 1 Garuda. Then we have triple copies of Space Rock, triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple Super Polymerization, triple Anti-Spell Fragrance, and triple copies of Evenly Matched here. Wrapping up your Swordsoul list, we're dedicating those extra spots down here to the Super Poly targets. I mean, if you don't want to play Super Poly, you obviously can tech things out just a little bit more in other departments, which isn't a bad thing, in my personal opinion. Diversity usually is a good thing. And we have one last list for you here. It is Pendulum. Good stuff. It is kind of nice to see that, like, the Draco Slayer deck has become, like, the backbone for this. It's just kind of sad, because, like, we did have some really strong regional finishes for this, but they definitely took a much bigger backstory. They're not doing much right now. It's kind of sad. So we have 1 copy of Astrograph Sorcerer, triple copies of Dynamite, triple copies of Harmonizing Magician with triple copies of Ignis Phoenix. Got triple copies of Luster Pendulum with triple copies of Bumbuki. We have triple copies of Majesty Pegasus with triple copies of Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon. We have 1 Performa Pal Celestial Magician with 1 Odd Eyes Dissolver. We have triple copies of the Odd Eyes Seer with 1 Scroll Combat Joker. We have triple copies of Purple Poison with 1 Master Pendulum. 1 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum with 1 Dino Mischarge. We have 1 Rhoda with 1 Secret Village, 1 Sky Iris, and triple copies of the Talents. Down here in the extra deck, of course, you got 1 Selene, 1 Borrelsaur with 2 Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Apollosa with 1 Baguski, 1 Hope Harbinger with 1 Magister Paladin, 1 Zeus with 1 Abyssdweller, 2 Ignister Prominence, 1 Borrelode Savage, 1 Odd Eyes Vortex, and 1 copy of the Dynastor Power. Side deck here we got triple Dimension Shifter, 2 copies of Lava Golem, 1 Scarlight, 1 Cowboy with 1 Time Star. We have 2 Cosmic Cyclone with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Necro Valley, and triple copies of Raigeki. Wrapping up, well, your chunk of pretty cool deck profiles, honestly. So what do you guys think about these cool lists? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.